Hello and welcome to Unit 8. I'm going to discuss Chapter 8 from our textbook, which is connecting to and setting up a network. First, we talk about understanding TCP/IP, which is Transmission Control Protocol over Internet Protocol and Windows networking. Here we have a user, the mystery cloud known as the Internet. There's a web server, and then talks about how the web server sends a requested page. And then we talk about the layers of network communication. This is essentially the OSI model, Open Systems Interconnect model. You could do a Google search or search the web for OSI model or 7-layer model, and you'll come up with a much more detailed description of this. But this describes exactly how computers communicate over the Internet. Here's a network interface card, but that's gigabit, so 1,000 gigs per second. Here we talk about networking and ports, how IP addresses get assigned, and then IPv4 addresses are used, how they're used. On 27001 is loopback. And then we talk about subnet masking, hands-on project 8-1, practice using subnet masks. And here we talk about public, private, and automatic private IP addressing, a PIPA. How IPv6 addresses are used. And then here is how to view IP address settings. And then you can use character-based names to identify computers and networks. Hands-on project 8-2, view and clear the DNS cache. Go ahead and give it a try. And then we talk about the TCP/IP protocol layers. Applying concepts, Internet Explorer and FTP. Here are different ports. There are many ports, and you're going to have to memorize a lot of them if your goal is to take the certification. Connecting a computer to a network. How to connect to an Ethernet or wired or wireless Wi-Fi local network. Connecting to a wireless WAN cellular network. Creating a dial-up connection. Although dial-up is pretty much gone away, you still might need it because one day, if the other connection types have died or are non-existent, or your equipment is malfunctioned, you may need to use a dial-up to get to the Internet. So And then here's how to create a VPN, a virtual private network connection. Network sign-in. Dynamic and static IP configurations. Alternate IP address configuration. And then we talk about managing network adapters, MAC addresses, link lights, quality of service, hands-on project 8-3, investigate TCP/IP settings, and then setting up a multifunction router for a small office, home office network, and the functions of a SOHO router. Install and configure a router on the local network. Change the router password. Yes, please do this because you don't want to just have the default existing on your router. It needs to be something else. Otherwise it can get hacked. Configure the DHCP server. If you want to do that, give it a try. Assign static IP addresses. Universal plug and play. Update router firmware. Limit internet traffic on your network. Port forwarding. Port triggering, DMZs, content filtering and parental controls. Maybe you need it, maybe you don't. Setting up a wireless network. It's gotten a lot easier as of recent. And the main thing you want to make sure is that you change your router password, from the default. And you want to do a wireless survey around you and go to a channel that people are not on. There's a security key, setting up the encryption, changing the default SSID and disabling SSID broadcast, select channels for the WAN. And then we have radio power levels, Wi-Fi protected setup, which is WPS. Hands-on project 8-4. Research a wireless LAN. You can write about that if you'd like. And then we have the chapter summary, which is talking about understanding TCP/IP and Windows networking, connecting a computer to a network, setting up a multifunction router for a SOHO network. We have key terms again. And then reviewing the basics. Thinking critically questions, which you can write about. And real problems, real solutions. And that's the chapter.